People think Ayanokoji is just fiction, an anime character, an exaggerated genius, a fantasy. But what if the environment that created him is not fantasy? What if the White Room is not a place, but a psychological model, a system that can recondition the human mind? This is not motivation, not self-help, not entertainment. This is mental reprogramming, and most people won't last, because this requires attention, stillness, mental pressure. 99% of people will click away in the first minute. Their attention span is gone. Their mind is overstimulated, weak, addicted to noise. But if you're still here, you already passed the first filter. Welcome to the White Room Protocol. The purpose of the White Room Protocol. The White Room was never designed to create prodigies. That's the lie people believe when they look at the results. Geniuses, strategists, human calculators. But intelligence was never the objective. Elimination was. The removal of hesitation, the removal of emotional overload, the removal of the psychological noise that weakens decision-making. Red stimulates aggression, blue induces calm. Colors influence emotional states without you realizing it. But white? White is not stimulation. White is neutrality, a blank psychological field. No emotional direction, no comfort. No identity reinforcement, just awareness, just thought, just raw cognitive processing without interference. The White Room did not add layers to the mind. It stripped layers away, because most people don't lack intelligence. They lack clarity. Their thinking is buried under distraction, buried under social validation, buried under emotional reactions they never learned to control. The White Room philosophy is simple. Weakness is not fought. Weakness is removed at the root. Distraction removed, emotional impulsiveness removed, dependency removed. What remains is not a better personality. What remains is function, a mind that observes before reacting, a mind that processes without distortion, a mind that chooses responses instead of being controlled by impulses. That is why phase 1 does not begin with motivation. It begins with silence, because before you can build mental strength, you must first clear the internal battlefield, and that is where the transformation starts. Phase 1, mental detox, deleting noise. Phase 1 is simple, yet brutally hard. Your mind right now is not yours. Not fully. It's cluttered with garbage, endless notifications, mindless scrolling, shallow entertainment, sugar highs, and constant digital noise. Every beep, every meme, every dopamine hit trains your brain to react instead of think. Your attention is dead, your focus shattered, your creativity suffocated. The White Room teaches this truth. Before you can build a mind like Ayanokoji, you must first erase the old one. You cannot learn while your brain is a trash bin. New input will never take hold if your mind is still crowded with distractions. Rule number 1, complete elimination. For the next 24 hours, you must cut all external dopamine sources. No scrolling, no sugar, no videos, no music. You will feel restless. Your hand will reach for your phone again and again. Your brain will scream for entertainment. This is not weakness. This is the battlefield. Boredom is your weapon. When the mind is deprived of shallow stimulation, it starts generating its own fuel, creativity, insight, reflection, ideas, strategies, and solutions arise from silence, not noise. Tonight, you will train this discipline. Turn off all lights. Place your phone in another room. Sit in darkness for 10 minutes. Do not force thought. Observe your mind. Let it scream. Let it wander. Let it start its reorganization. Phase 1 also introduces the principle of mental minimalism. The White Room was designed to remove anything unnecessary emotions, impulsivity, attachment so cognition can operate at peak efficiency. You will not memorize history today. You will not force skills. You will simply observe yourself, your desires, your weaknesses, your reactions. Every distraction removed is a victory. Every moment of silence trains focus. By the end of phase 1, the difference will be subtle, almost invisible to others. Your mind will start to feel lighter, sharper, more controlled. This is the first step, the blank slate. and only on this foundation can the rest of the White Room protocols be built. Phase 2, cognitive compression. Think like a White Room mind. Phase 2 begins where Phase 1 leaves off. Your mind is now quieter. The noise has been removed, but silence alone is not power. You need structure. You need systems, not memories. Most people study by storing facts, dates, names, formulas they cram and hope they remember. That is fragile thinking. The White Room teaches something different. Mental compression. Don't memorize, simulate, decode, internalize. Transform raw data into experiences your brain will never forget. Imagine studying history. Do not repeat dates like a parrot. Place yourself on the battlefield. See the strategy unfold. Feel the tension, the fear, the triumph, the failure. Your mind doesn't remember facts, it remembers experience, and experience is permanent. When Ayanokoji studied, he didn't just read a book, he interrogated it. Every line had intent. Every paragraph was a puzzle. He asked, why is this word here? Why this sequence? What does the author want me to misunderstand? Each detail became a mental algorithm, a pattern to analyze and manipulate. This is mental compression, storing not information but underlying logic and patterns. Facts are cheap, comprehension is rare, memory is limited, processing is limitless. You will begin to think in frameworks, systems, and simulations. You will run scenarios in your mind like a computer, testing possibilities before acting. Phase 2 also trains your brain to create connections. One skill feeds another. History teaches strategy. Strategy teaches psychology. Psychology improves decision-making. Knowledge becomes a web, not isolated islands. Start small. Take a single subject, a single problem. Don't memorize it. Break it down. Simulate it. Run it in your mind from all angles. Argue with it. Test it. Repeat until the process becomes automatic. The brain begins to operate as Ayanokoji's, compressing raw input, discarding the useless, retaining patterns, and generating strategies that ordinary minds can't comprehend. By the end of Phase 2, studying becomes mental engineering. You no longer absorb information, you own it. And once you own information, you can begin to predict, manipulate, and control outcomes. Not just in exams, but in life itself. Phase 3, the examiner mindset. Think like the creator. Phase 3 is where intelligence becomes strategy. Ordinary students ask, what is the answer? White Room minds ask, why was this question created? Every exam, every assignment, every system has intent behind it. The average mind sees problems. The White Room mind sees psychological patterns, traps, and manipulations. Every multiple choice option is designed to mislead. Every word is placed to confuse or test logic. To succeed, you must study the examiner, not the subject. Reverse engineering begins here. Analyze motives, predict mistakes. Ask, what does this system want me to overlook? What is the most likely way someone expects me to fail? By understanding the designer, you turn unpredictability into control. The exam stops being a challenge, it becomes a blueprint. This mindset extends beyond tests. In life, people create systems, companies, rules, social hierarchies. Every rule has a loophole. Every obstacle is designed with intention. If you can understand why something exists, you can predict how people will act within it. And act first. Start small. Take a text, an article, or even a conversation. Ask, what is the intent? What mistakes are being set up? What patterns repeat? Challenge assumptions. Argue with the material in your mind. When you fight with information, it becomes permanent. By the end of Phase 3, your mind no longer absorbs passively. You analyze, deconstruct, and anticipate. You think 2 moves ahead while others are still playing the first. This is the White Room principle. Control begins not with action, but with understanding the system before you even touch it. Phase 4, nervous system training. A real stairvlate, his control. Phase 4 teaches a truth most people never understand. Strength is not in your muscles. It's in your nervous system, the signals your brain sends to your body. A bodybuilder may lift heavy weight, But can he survive when everything goes wrong? Can he push past pain, fear, and instinct? That is where true power lies. Your brain has a governor. It limits your output for safety. A mother lifting a car to save her child is not strong. She is overriding that governor. White room training does the same. Trick your brain into pushing past perceived limits. Cold exposure, sprints, push-ups, pull-ups, these are not for show. They are signals. Every time you endure discomfort, your brain learns, I am in control. Fear is optional. Pain is information, not command. Train like your life depends on it. Visualize threats. Experience stress in safe ways. Each signal strengthens the bridge between intent and action. Control is more important than size. Density matters. Precision matters. Your body becomes a weapon not by looking big, but by responding perfectly under pressure. Pain is electricity, not defeat. Discomfort is training, not punishment. By the end of phase 4, you will feel the difference. Movements sharper, endurance higher, focus steady. You are no longer just reacting to the world. You are sending signals, commanding your body, and breaking the limits ordinary minds accept as law. Passive 5, emotional mask. Control your face. Control your world. Phase 5 is the lesson most people ignore. Your face is a weapon. Every micro-expression leaks information, anger, fear, excitement, hesitation. Every unconscious twitch tells the world what controls you. In the white room, showing emotion equals showing weakness. The goal is not to suppress feelings, it's to control them. Your inner storm is yours alone. Outside, your face must be a blank screen. Neutral, calm, unreadable. A mask so perfect that no one can predict your next move. Start with the 3-second rule. When insulted, shocked, or challenged, pause. Don't react instantly. Let the stimulus enter. Process it. Decide your expression intentionally. Reaction is instinct. Response is intelligence. Daily exercises train this control. Sit in front of a mirror. Recall painful memories. Or imagine extreme humor. Let nothing show. Your muscles, the corrugator, the zygomatic, are now tools of mastery. When they obey you, not the situation, you dominate. Control of expression extends beyond fighting exams or exercises. In every interaction, the person who cannot be read is the one who controls the room. People fear unpredictability masked in calm. They reveal their plans, their secrets, their weaknesses, and you gain the edge. Phase 5 turns your most human feature emotion into power. You remain human inside, but outside you are a force no one can manipulate. Every reaction now becomes a choice. Every expression a strategy. Phase 6, Sociology Engineering. Move people like PCs. Phase 6 reveals a truth most ignore. The world runs on desire, not rules. People act, not rationally, but to get what they want. Status, money, recognition, security. The white room teaches you to see these desires and use them strategically. Influence is not force, it is observation and leverage. Understand what someone wants, identify their need, then act in a way that aligns with it without ever showing your hand. The person who believes they are in control is the one you guide. But true mastery is invisible. Never take credit for the results. Let others shine. If you do the work, but let someone else receive praise, they become your shield, and you remain unnoticed. Shadows are power. Spotlight attracts enemies, envy, and pressure. Stay in the gray zone, seen by none, understood by few. Social engineering is not manipulation. It's systematic problem solving with people. Every interaction is a data point. Every word, gesture, or promise is a potential lever. Analyze intentions, predict behavior, and act with precision. By the end of phase 6, you will see relationships differently. People are not obstacles, they are resources. And the person who understands motives, needs, and leverage can move through life not as a participant, but as a strategist. You influence outcomes without fighting, without arguing, without overt effort. Master this, and you control not just situations but the people around you, all while remaining invisible, untouchable, unchargeable, targeted. Phase 7, the gray man, power invisibility. Phase 7 teaches a paradox. True strength is unseen. Visibility attracts attention. Attention attracts envy. Envy attracts enemies. Enemies create obstacles. The smartest move is often to appear ordinary. The White Room calls this the gray man principle. Blend in. Be average in appearance. Be predictable in routine. Speak when necessary. Remain silent when possible. Your mediocrity becomes a mask. Your competence remains a hidden weapon. Pretending to be less intelligent than you are is not weakness, it is strategy. People reveal secrets in front of those they don't see as threats. Your invisibility becomes a battlefield advantage. The loud, the flashy, the overly capable, these are targets. Shadows are freedom, the spotlight is a trap. Gray man thinking also applies to action. You do not need to dominate every conversation, project, or situation. Act just enough to achieve objectives. Let others take credit. Let them expose themselves. You move, observe, and influence from the background, untouchable. Combine this with previous phases, mental clarity, control of emotions, observation of desires, and your power compounds. The world treats you as harmless while you quietly manipulate outcomes, stay safe, and prepare for real opportunities. Phase 7 turns invisibility into strategy, mediocrity into armor, and patience into a weapon. The unseen person often has the most control because people cannot hit what they cannot target. Master invisibility, and you are untouchable. Phase Salus, Beishe, Scala stacking, become unreplaceable. Phase 8 is about building versatility, not narrow expertise. Specialists are replaceable. The White Room creates polymaths, people who combine multiple skills to become rare, valuable, and unpredictable. Each skill strengthens another. Playing piano improves pattern recognition, which aids strategy. Martial arts build discipline, enhancing focus and decision-making. Coding teaches logic. Psychology teaches manipulation. Knowledge, creativity, and physical skill feed each other. Become T-shaped. Master one field deeply. Gain broad knowledge across many. Every 6 months, add a skill outside your comfort zone. Science students learn cooking. Artists learn finance. Expand horizontally. Excel vertically. Skill stacking makes you adaptable. Competitors focus on one field. You dominate multiple. You are not just capable. You are unseen, unchallenged, and rare. Final state. Becoming, not awakening. At first you act disciplined. Eventually discipline becomes identity. Focus becomes default. Calm becomes automatic. Control becomes natural. This is not a 30-day challenge. It's a lifestyle of 1% daily refinement. Your room becomes the White Room. Your mind becomes the system. Most people will hear this and do nothing. Routine is stronger than motivation. But if you apply even one phase, you separate from the crowd. The White Room isn't fiction. It's a metaphor for deliberate self-construction. And it starts when you decide your mind is not a playground for distractions, but a tool. Your move,